Extra, extra, read all about it on the Sunday Paper Show. They'll tell you everything you ever wanted or needed to know. We can watch the world.
Here it doesn't matter. 3, 2, 1.
Read all about it. Read all about it.
Okay.
Sunday papers. Sunday papers.
Got it.
You're in your bathrobe. You got a dog. You're petting him.
Me?
He fetches your paper. He brings it to you. Your wife, she left. You're drinking. There's whiskey in the coffee cup. And we're here to cheer you up for our Christmas Eve Sunday papers.
I am texting while I'm podcasting. Is that
Merry
dangerous?
Christmas, Mike. Merry Christmas. Thanks for participating
wait.
in literally the first 30 seconds of the podcast. You're texting somebody.
No, it's Olivia has a soccer game. I'm supposed to go see it.
Yeah, okay.
We'll see. Well, I can tell you a little bit about my day. I already told you, but I could. It's worth sharing.
Well, people should know we recorded this 10 days before Christmas Eve. 9 days before Christmas Eve.
Here. So I woke up in Nashville, was taking a 6 a.m. flight to get back here because we even had a meeting earlier today and other stuff. So 6 a.m. flight gets in at, I think, 9 with pad. So anyway, that means I got up at 4:30, which is 2:30 in the morning here. Make it, no problem. Airport's the most crowded I've ever seen it. I don't really know what's going on. Make it to my plane. I'm in my seat. It's like a little before 6 a.m. And we then go out to the tarmac or whatever, and we sit on the plane for 2.5 hours. Why? Because the de-icing machine, the de-icer, wasn't working in Nashville. So what I've gathered was the plane then went out and positioned itself along with other planes to catch the first lights of sun, the first rays of sun.
Like lizards by the side of a pond.
It felt very Animal Kingdom-like. These big things like birds positioning themselves to get the sun, and then had to wait till nature de-iced it, which I didn't love. Now, to add insult to injury, this is Spirit Airlines, no Wi-Fi.
Of course not.
Which means no anything. There's no screen. There's no anything.
Yeah. Did you bring a magazine? Did you have a book?
I slept a lot, to tell you the truth, but they told us to download. Like they're like, hey, and the Spirit. This is their fancy excuse. As you can see, it's a brand new airplane, and it just hasn't been fitted with Wi-Fi yet. It seems like that's one of the easiest things you can fit on a new plane.
Yeah, the Verizon guy will come over in like 10 minutes. They'll set it up. All right, here's my flight. I'm in Fort Worth, Texas right now, and I flew in on Delta, and I was in the window seat in coach, and I got this. I sit down, and then this guy comes in with his mother, and they're Asian, and he's carrying her pretty much.
That's sweet.
So he dumps her lifeless body in the middle seat, and he sits on the aisle. And then about halfway through the flight, my laptop, I went to get something out of my bag, and my laptop and glasses fell on the ground and went under the seat in front of the old lady. So I now take off my seatbelts. I bend over. And, coach is so fucking tight that I got my head down, and my head is like in this woman's lap, and I got my arms underneath, and she's kicking the seat, and she goes like, Unga! And then her son is like, Ching-cha! And like, they're fucking yelling at me in Chinese.
Oh, is that what that was? So they both hatched a plan to have you canceled with this story? Is that what am I following? This is worse than Spirit.
Does it sound like Chinese to you? Did that sound like Chinese?
Yeah.
Could I not go, hey, what are you doing? Or could I not go, what are you doing under the seat? Like, it's unga. So anyway, I finally get the computer and I put it in the bag, and then another hour and a half goes by. We land, and then they get up, and he's like carrying her, and I'm coming out behind them, and he turns around and goes, Jingo! Again, like an hour and a half later, he yells at me in Mandarin.
What? Just because you were putting your face in his mom's lap?
I mean, come on. She didn't feel anything. She's been dead below the waist for years.
Oh, no. Wow. All right.
Yeah. So
I think my flight might have been better somehow.
yeah, no, mine was right on time, which was nice. And I do like getting texts on the flight. I don't need my emails, but Delta gives you texting. And I love it. I love it.
I know. Obviously I was reminded too strongly today about it used to be a nice respite, It used to be a little time out.
Yeah.
And I remember traveling for work and being like, all right, well, I'm out of the picture for 5 hours on Friday as I'm going to New York or whatever,
I just plowed through a book in like 4 days. Did I tell you I read Reggie Watts' book? Oh, I said hello for you. He says hello back.
Oh, good. I love Reggie.
He was so great on the pie. If you didn't listen to Fitzdog Radio this week, Reggie Watts was phenomenal. And he's just so in the moment. Like, his whole book is about being improvisational and being present. And so it was just like, we just riffed, and it was funny, and we talked a lot about the book. It was really cool.
Excellent. He reads it?
He reads the book?
Did you listen to the book?
No, I fucking read it like a man.
Oh, Jesus.
I read it. You're right, though. I probably should have listened. I bet he did an interesting read. Although what's cool
that was my question.
There's QV codes. Is that what they're called?
QR.
There's QR codes, and so he'll describe this incredible first night that him and his friends played in front of their friends at a party in his first band. And then there's a QR code, and you click on it, and it takes you to a YouTube video of, it wasn't video, it was just sound, but you could hear it. And like throughout his career, it had like really cool YouTube videos that you could go to. So it was interactive.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Too bad there wasn't. I'm sure there's a QR code for him to read the whole book. But
right.
I was wondering, because I've worked with Reggie when we got him at James Corden show, and Reggie, part of that improv thing is not keen on following a script word for word usually.
Right.
And he almost always makes it better. But so I was wondering if a book on tape would seem a little constricting for him as well.
Right. I remember, I forget whose book he ended up riffing most of it.
Oh, Keith Richards?
Was it Keith Richards?
I think Keith Richards went off book, so to speak.
Yeah,
went off. I don't know.
All right. Well,
script.
we're on book this week. If we haven't announced it yet, this is our year-end recap show. It's not a best of, because we could have easily gone back and clipped out our favorite bits from the year, but instead
I wouldn't call that easy.
We copied and pasted them into the document, and we're gonna recreate each one to make it feel more alive. Is that a good way of describing it?
Sure. What a sale. Well, they're the stories we quickly went through. All
these
the
are our
docs.
favorite. Jesus, it's amazing how much you underplay this show. These are our favorite stories of the year.
There you go.
Mike handled the first half of the year, and then I did July through roughly October. And we put the stories in, and we're going to read them for you now.
I did 6 months. You did not do that?
No, I did 6 months.
Okay.
You'll notice because there's some December stories in there.
Oh, all right.
We wanted to also recap that one thing that was going on during the year is the Writers Guild strike and the SAG strike, and we were approached by Kit Boss who ran a relief fund for below the line workers, so the camera people and the gaffers and the grips and all those people, to raise money for them. And they asked us to play a round of golf. We auctioned it off. This great guy came in and paid $4,275 to play with us.
Amazing.
Yes. And we played a really fun round of golf with him. And then he came to see my show in San Francisco last week.
Unpaid $6,000.
Tim Dilly.
Timmy.
Dillman.
That was such a fun day of golf. He's such a positive guy.
Good guy. Rich. Fucking rich.
Well, a little less. I'm glad we helped him get less rich.
We also want to talk about... here's what I'd like for you guys to do for my Instagram, for my Christmas present. My Instagram number right now is 99,900. And I would really like to get over 100,000 by the end of the year. So if you would, and it would just be so cool if you just stopped for 1 second, open your phone, go to Greg Fitzsimmons on Instagram, throw me a follow. Because here's the thing. When you have 100,000 followers, they give you more money on your road work as a stand-up, and they bring you in more for hosting jobs. Everything opens up in Hollywood when you hit 100,000. I'm 100 people away. So just do it.
I could give you all my followers and you'd barely make it.
Oh, Jesus.
I have 3,400 and lucky 13 followers.
Well, follow Gibbons time as well. You put up some good posts. If you want to see Mike's family, he puts up pictures of his family.
I don't really. I mean, once in a while. But, I should be putting up more funny stuff.
Let's make that a New Year's resolution, Mike.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
The logo this week, we want to thank Bruce Wise, who's been a supporter all year. He gave us so many logos this year, and this is a great one. It's Blondie, and she is sitting. I can't tell what she's sitting on. It almost looks like a swing. And me and Mike are next to her. Very nicely done. And then the song this week is from James Badnewski, which I hope isn't his real name. And he sent me this song, and I replied to him, "Thank you so much. This is awful. It's perfect for the show." And I think he actually got offended. I didn't mean awful like it was bad. I just meant like it was the kind of sound quality that we love when it's just like a guy in his basement with an acoustic guitar and a lavalier mic having fun.
It's lo-fi.
Lo-fi. But the song is great. Thank you for that. Other tour dates I got coming up at the end of the year: Milwaukee Improv, December 29th through the 31st, New Year's Eve. Den Theater in Chicago, January 13th is filling up fast. Get your tickets. Atlanta Punchline, January 18th through 20. Also coming to Portland, Oregon, La Jolla, and Tampa. Tickets at fitzdog.com. How do you get tickets to things? I always wonder.
You know what I do? I use Game Time.
No.
I do. I love it. They're not just a sponsor. We actually use them, as you can tell. Here's the Rolling Stones, $95. You got a long way to go. We're going to watch that one. That's in July. Tomorrow, Knicks at Lakers. Right now it's at 175, but we're going to watch that. It's going to go down.
That's going to go up.
You think so?
I think so.
Well, you'll get the best rate and the best deal when you go to Game Time. Love Game Time. We talk about it no matter what city we're in. You can go there and just put Discover, which will just discover everything that's going on, from sports to plays to stand-up to concerts, everything.
What's great also is that the app is amazing. It's a couple of taps and it's in your phone. You don't have to print. You don't have to transfer, download any kind of stuff like that. It's just in there. And from the app, you can take a look at the view from your seats, which is pretty cool.
And there's last minute tickets, there's flash deals, there's zone deals, and it's the lowest price guaranteed. There's event cancellation protection, job loss protection. It's the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. And another thing I really like is the all-in-one prices. the all-in prices that they show you, which includes everything, because I get burned on other ones where I'm like, oh, what a great deal, $120 each or whatever it is. And then it's like, oh, I got two. How did it get to $500?
Right. So listen, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PAPERS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PAPERS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
All right. Also, I want to talk about the delicious, sumptuous, and simple Omaha Steaks. Comes right to you.
I'm getting mine delivered.
I just got a box and we tore through it. I guess it took us like 10 days, which is nice because it comes frozen. It's flash frozen. You stick it in the freezer and then boom, you want to have some steaks, pull them out. You want some chicken? Great. How about some jumbo franks? Love it. These are
going off script here for a second. Do you know there's all these nerds, and they cook in labs, but there's a good amount of these nerds who think cooking steak from frozen is absolutely the best way to cook it.
No, you mean cold, frozen, don't let it thaw at all. Really?
Hard as a rock, frozen.
Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
You just have to run under a tiny bit of water to get the ice, if there's any sort of ice crystals, because that will not do well when it hits the oil in the pan. But anyway, you can look it up. People do sous vide. They do reverse sear, the regular sear. They do, they do their own version of dry aging it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, all this stuff, but from frozen. So that's another benefit for Omaha Steaks.
I should mention we are supported by Omaha Steaks, and you send it to a friend or a family member. Last summer, we went up to Matt Malloy's house in upstate New York. My mom knew that we were bringing 7 people up there, so she sent a big box of Omaha Steaks. We used it all week. It's convenient. It's delicious. It's high quality. It's a great holiday gift experience. And, if you go to omahasteaks.com, you save 50% off site-wide. Plus, when you use promo code PAPERS at checkout, get an additional $30 off your order. Send tender, juicy butcher's block filet mignons, mouth-watering burgers. My mouth is watering. Gourmet jumbo franks, or even easy-to-prepare meals that are ready in a flash. Ready to ship your order right away, so shop early and beat the shipping rush. Go to omahasteaks.com. Use promo code PAPERS at checkout. Omaha Steaks is a gift from the heart, a gift that will be remembered with every unforgettable bite. Order with complete confidence today, knowing you're ordering the best. Visit omahasteaks.com. Take advantage of 50% off site-wide, plus use promo code PAPERS at checkout to get an extra $30 off. Minimum order may require. We ready? Are we ready to tackle the whole year, Mike?
Are you kidding me?
Let's do it. Now
Here comes some paper. Front page.
Front page. We're not going to dwell on these stories. We're going to hit them fast and hard and move on.
This is a front page story from back in January, and it was U.S. Congressman Robert Garcia, Democrat from California, was sworn in with his hand on the first issue of the Superman comic book from 1939. The comic was accompanied by a copy of the U.S. Constitution, Garcia's U.S. citizenship certificate, and a photograph of his parents who died from COVID-19.
Aww.
Yep, and he gives a nice little quote. And then he's like, Superman represents truth and justice. If you look at Superman's values and caucus values, it's about justice. It's about honesty. It's doing the right thing, standing up for people that need support.
And, he's, as a gay man, he really likes his tights. And as a Latino man, he likes that he showed up undocumented on this planet and found a good job.
And I had written, Superman was more of an immigrant than this guy. Superman came from Kansas. I don't exactly know what that joke means.
I don't know either.
But what I did like is I go, meanwhile, George Santos is like, wait, that's me. My dead parents are immigrants too. So even back in January, where the slamming of Santos was on. Okay, then in late January, I remember loving this story. Marie Kondo has given up on being tidy. My home is messy, she said. The 38-year-old organizational guru who gave birth to her third child in 2021 is known for the Netflix series Tidying Up, where she instructs eager cleaners to keep what sparks joy and to trash the rest. But Marie just had her third kid and says, I have kind of given up on that in a good way for me, she added. Now I realize what's important to me is enjoying time with my children at home, although it should be said she held all three of her children and then she threw out two of them.
They weren't bringing her joy.
No spark.
They were the joyless children. That's the key, kids.
Yeah.
Keep a smile on that face. This is like Tony Robbins telling us to just relax. Just accept yourself the way you are.
Yeah, don't try harder.
Or maybe Oprah gaining 150 pounds. Wait a minute. What?
She's done that like 6 times.
I think she just lost a bunch. She might have just admitted that she's on that liver pill.
Ozempic?
Oh, yeah. I think she just admitted she was on Ozempic.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then I found this. Get this. In February 5th, somehow I think on the fly, we came up with a death pool.
Oh, right.
And never followed through, which is very like us. And you listed Kissinger, Putin, Pat Robertson, Murdoch, Cosby, Weinstein, Polanski, Sandusky.
No. We each picked 3. Those were the names. I picked Pat Robertson. No, you picked Pat Robertson, Imelda Marcos, Murdoch, and Sandusky. You put 4. Oh, we each got 4.
Okay.
I don't know. Are any of those still alive? Are they all still alive?
I don't know, man. We have to fact check this. And we also keep in mind, we have till the end of the year.
Right. Anything could happen in the next week.
Yeah, especially when I go to their house tomorrow night. You picked Kissinger, Cosby, Weinstein, and Cheney. Hard to tell who you hate more there. That's a hateable list.
Yeah.
Mine's hateable. They're all hateable. Is that why we like this death pool?
Yeah. Imelda Marcos is still around. She's not dead.
So is Murdoch, sadly.
Murdoch is...
What about Sandusky? He's hanging in his cell?
Let me see. Sandusky alive?
I think Pat Robertson might have died. I don't know.
Let's see. You check on Pat Robertson.
I'll check on Pat Robertson, man.
Yeah, Sandusky's still
Cheney's
alive.
still alive.
Cheney's still alive. And Sandusky's still married to Dottie Gross. She hangs in there.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Wow. With so many deaths, which we're going to talk about at the end, it's amazing that these people are still alive.
All right, so I won.
Dead.
Who?
Pat Robertson, dead June 8th.
Oh.
Yes.
All right, so we're even, 1-1.
Hell got a little more crowded.
Yeah.
Because he believes in hell, so that's probably where he is. If you build it, they will come.
Here's a great one on March 12th. Cocaine cat, a large cat called a serval, rescued from a tree in Cincinnati, tested positive for cocaine. Animal control officials said the big cat escaped when his owner was pulled over by police. The big cat leapt from the car into a tree. The cat will now call the Cincinnati Zoo home. Well, if it's the Cincinnati Zoo, we should be able to score some more blow.
And I thought, what a great idea if you're pulled over by the cops. Just roll down the window, and first you have to have a big wild cat in your car.
Yeah.
First that. And then it jumps out the window, and it's like, the guy's like, have you been drinking, sir? Drinking with a big wild cat in the car who's on cocaine? Are you crazy?
I had cocaine, but the cat did it all. I didn't do any. But
Go ahead.
I like the idea of wild animals on drugs loose in every major city, just to kind of like keep you focused, get you off your phone, make you pay attention, look around a little bit, take in what's going on in the world.
You know how we've done all sorts of devious things to keep ourselves awake when we're driving? This would do it.
Yes.
A cocaine cat?
Yeah.
For sure.
No one's going to crosswalk.
I think it's the big cat's idea once he did the cocaine. Listen, pussy, we're going to Vegas. Oh, shit, it's the cops. Okay, just pull over slowly. Act calm. Fuck this. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to Vegas with the cocaine cat, you're getting laid. You go to a rave with the cocaine cat, oh yeah. You're the guy.
Okay, in May, Tucker Carlson announced he's bringing his show to Twitter. The ousted Fox News host posted on a video to Twitter on Tuesday saying, "We're back." In the clip, while accusing the media of telling lies, Carlson announced he will be bringing his show to Twitter, which he called the only free speech platform left in the world.
I mean, why is it that one side claims that people are lying all the time? Is it possible that people don't lie that much? It just seems a little convenient that everybody's lying who disagrees with them.
I think, though, it was a strong move but I don't know if he's going to do as well on Twitter, and he hasn't really, because he might be the least racist person on Twitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of competition.
On X.
That's the thing about hosting Fox News. If you lose your job, there's not another network that will have you. It's like dating a woman everyone knows has herpes. You're like, oh yeah, I know you. In
June was this Titanic tragedy, yet another Titanic tragedy. This makes the third after the movie. The tourist submersible that went missing while carrying 5 people to the sunken Titanic on Sunday was designed to be piloted with a video game controller and fitted with off-the-shelf components. The Titan's main compartment has as much space as a minivan. Footage of the vessel showed that its interior could accommodate around 5 people sitting cross-legged, as well as several screen displays and some camera equipment. And I said, apparently the submarine wreckage is right near the Titanic wreckage. This is like rich people dying near other dead rich people on Everest. Now there will be more rich people dying trying to see the submarine wreckage.
Yeah.
Soon it's going to be like a Cadillac Ranch down there with wreckage all around the Titanic.
Yeah. And by the way, anyone who went to see the movie Titanic can relate to the feeling of suffocation, no hope, get me out of here.
We're never going to get out.
They spent $5 million looking for these billionaires. Meanwhile, do you remember at that same time Greece sent out like a drone? There were all those Syrians came over and a boat sank with hundreds of them drowning, and they sent out like a drone and 2 jet skis. And we were like, all right, nah, we have no see them. They're not around.
Under the sub, it was weird. They found the Korean airliner. That's where it was the whole time.
It's the
what
worst
are the odds
way
of landing on it?
By the way, what's a worse way to die? You're struggling for air and you're surrounded by billionaire Karens, completely entitled. Like, I paid a lot of money. This should not be happening. Meanwhile, if you're with poor people, they would just be chill because they're used to shit going bad all the time. They'd be like, yeah, this figures.
Right. Yeah, I'm once again living in a piece of shit. And you don't think this thing's going to leak? I got news for you. This is going to leak.
Everything leaks. From my experience, everything leaks.
Yeah.
We're
underwater. It's going to leak.
We all live in an exploding submarine. I think there was also a lot of estate attorneys getting calls from squabbling siblings that weekend, trying to find the will, trying to figure out how much they inherited.
Well, remember that one kid who was a relative, maybe it was his half-son or whatever, anyway, was at a concert while they were still searching for them.
Oh, right. That's embarrassing.
A little bit.
An Ohio man is recovering from an incident in June where he was dragged about a half a mile down the street by a car his wife was driving. And thanks to a concerned group of bikers who intervened, they slowed the car down so he could escape. Eric Jones asked Williams for a divorce, and while sitting in the driver's seat of a car outside their home, snatched the husband's phone from his hands. He reached in and she fucking rolled up the window and then sped off with him trapped. Once the biker surrounded the car to slow it down, he broke the glass and he broke the window with his elbow. Big scar on his arm. So, I mean, look. By the way, couple had been married for 18 months.
So it's a success.
What a pussy. Fred Flintstone drove his car like this his whole life. Because apparently he's got no heels. His heels were torn off. And Fred Flintstone drove like this on streets that were made of rocks, not nice, smooth asphalt.
Yeah. I think, though, they should have had this little convoy of bikes take them right up to Sturgis.
Yeah.
Where they would not have negotiated a turn. It would have taken them both out.
That's right. I heard she also pulled into a McDonald's drive-thru backwards so she could get her food without the husband blocking the drive-thru window. People probably thought this was one of those gags, like, you know, when the people put the fake legs hanging out of the trunk.
Right.
They're like, that's hilarious. April Fools.
Oh, look, her husband's hanging out. That's cute.
Should we do this one?
I don't know this one.
All right, I'll read it.
The
Tennessee Board of Judicial Conduct is accusing Judge Melissa Boyd of using cocaine and marijuana in the months before she was elected. So Latasha Rudd, who served as Boyd's campaign manager, alleges that Boyd came to her house smelling like alcohol, and when she drinks, she becomes aggressive and hostile. She is alleged to have pointed her finger at Rudd before putting her hand over Rudd's mouth, telling her to shut up and not mess with her because she's the judge. So they allege that. So look,
I'd watch this judge show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She keeps hitting the gavel and you realize she's just breaking up a rock of cocaine.
Well, now we know why Lady Justice holds those scales. She's a dealer.
Yeah, why is it a metric scale? That's weird.
And the sword for carving up those lines.
Yeah. The bailiff yells out, "Order in the court." And she's like, "I'll have a vodka martini dry."
She's also stealing the moves out of the Boogie Nights guy who's doing blow while wearing a robe. Maybe there's an Asian guy by the witness stand lighting off firecrackers. I want to see this show.
Apparently, some guy came up on a DWI charge. There used to be DWI in New York. Do you remember that before DUI? It was driving while intoxicated, and now it's driving under the influence.
DWI. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some guy came up with a DWI charge. And,
Dewey.
It was Dewey. Yeah.
Yeah, Dewey's.
And she asked him if he was sober now, and he said yes, and she dismissed the case and asked him for a ride home. So that was kind of an indication that... all right, this is maybe the story of the year. A Delta passenger sprayed diarrhea everywhere aboard a...
Still not as bad as my flight today.
Aboard a midair flight, forcing the plane to turn around and go back to the airport. They were going to Barcelona from Georgia, and the guy's gastrointestinal issues exploded out in the open. And the flight attendant radioed air traffic control, and he seemed pretty calm. You can hear him on the recording saying, "It's just a biohazard issue. We had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane." So they want us to come back to Atlanta. People complained on social media, quote, "My partner was on the flight. It was pretty bad. It was dribbled down the aisle, smelled horrible." Another said the vanilla scented disinfectant used on it only made it smell like vanilla shit. No word on the condition of the passenger. I'm going to guess his condition is hopefully embarrassment.
This plane should have been like those cruise ships where no one wanted to take them.
Right.
No one would take them
right.
back.
Yeah. They just give him more gas and send him on to the next airport.
Yeah. Here's more toilet paper.
But what's with spraying it up the aisles? I thought pants, among other things, like giving you a place to put your keys and keeping your legs warm, I thought they also prevented explosive diarrhea from spraying onto other people.
It's one of the first reasons for pants.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
all right,
one.
why don't you
in
take
huge,
this one?
huge moments of evolution. That was one of them. What do we got here? Are you there? Are you frozen?
Yeah, I'm just looking if we should read this one. Let's read this one. Pint of Pussy is the title of this one. Popular
Okay.
Twitch streamer and OnlyFans model Amaranth is teaming up with Polish brewery The Order of Yanni to create and sell a new beer made from her vaginal yeast. Quote, basically like pap smear myself. They want to make beer using my vaginal yeast, like the same profile, I guess. It's hilarious. I don't know if they'll actually drink it, but they'll probably drink it, she says. This isn't the first unusual product for her. She previously sold fart jars, bath water, and her own hair for thousands of dollars. But beer? Pussy beer? I think that the head on the beer is actually just dried semen.
Oh, and it's an IPA. It's Indian Pussy Ale.
That's right. Well, once a month they put out a red ale.
Right. Nice. Ugh.
Excuse me, bartender. There's a hair in my beer, and a couple clumps of toilet tissue. I
told you when we were doing the Tosh's first show, we were going to have at the end. There was a woman, well known on the internet circles, called Cake Fart Girl, and she would be paid money. This is way before these things, but like in terms of OnlyFans, but she would sit on cakes and fart naked, and she was beautiful.
Was she able to blow out the candles?
So that was her trick. She'd sit all the way down on it, come back, still lit.
Or it's like a torch.
And Comedy Central kind of lost their minds because we had already maybe put in Two Girls, One Cup. Yeah, it was a balls out pilot. But I remember Cake Fart Girl. Yeah.
Did you want to talk about these two shows, or did that just get left in there? The Supermodels doc?
No, you put that. You copy and pasted this in.
Let's talk about.
We don't have to skip Playboy.
Okay, we'll skip Playboy. Swimming. Okay, let's do this one. A man is being treated after jumping into the reflecting pool at the World Trade Center Memorial in Lower Manhattan. He jumped into the pool and was taken out. It's about 30 feet to the bottom. He injured his leg. We have learned he told one of the officers he did this for his father. It is unclear if that meant he lost anyone on 9/11.
Yeah.
The firefighter saw, he was nude, by the way. The firefighter saw the nude man in the freezing water, and let's just say they did not rush in.
Authorities then gave him some sheets and some jumper cables to warm up in his cell down in Guantanamo. Standard operating procedure.
Did it for his father. Is his father Osama bin Laden? There really is, but it makes you think about there is a mental health illness issue in New York, and we need to do something about it. And that starts with building some more goddamn pools.
I know it's rumors, but online that the man was being remote controlled by Jews.
No.
And that's how he flew into the water. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. They took off his clothes, all of it remotely.
It's like the Gaza Strip down Lower Manhattan. You want to read this one?
I don't know this story. Okay. What, the putting the horse in horse?
What do you mean you don't know it? We literally did all of these stories together in the last year.
No, I know. I just haven't refreshed myself. A Longview man is accused of attempting to hire a prostitute for himself and his miniature horse. Judd Shipman, who's 48, was arrested on one count of first-degree attempted animal cruelty. Is it? He didn't think it was cruel.
Well,
and one count
there was foreplay.
And one count of patronizing a prostitute per court documents. Shipman allegedly offered to pay $440 to a person to travel to Longview to touch him and his miniature horse sexually. He told the potential prostitute he was having a difficult time finding a willing participant to join him as the last 2 gals I asked said it was noticeably outside their comfort zone.
That doesn't sound like any whore I've ever met.
No, that was pretty articulate.
Yeah, listen here. Listen here, pal. This is way outside my comfort zone, noticeably.
I think I get what he's up to. I think he has these miniatures so he can say truthfully that he's hung like a horse.
Right.
To the gals.
I know. This shouldn't be a felony. The horse was miniature. This is a petty crime.
Yeah, small claims.
With a miniature horse, I just hope that he got a hooker who was a little person.
That could sell. He should have had a pay-per-view. Yeah.
All right. Listen, speaking of, making choices, Prize Picks is the largest daily fantasy sports platform in North America. The easiest and most exciting way to play DFS. It's just you against the numbers. You're not battling thousands of other players, including pros and sharks. You pick more than or less than on 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll in. It's really fun because it's basketball season now and football season, so you can fold in these bets where it's you can win up to 25 times your money, which I did.
2 players. Yeah, select 2 players, pick more or less on the projected stats they have right there for you, and place your entry.
I won 25 times my money the first week, which was pretty sweet because just between us, they gave me some starter money to use. So I made money on free money, but I made 25 times it, which was pretty sweet. It's beginning your gifts early. There's a 12 days of Picksmas starting December 14th, where there's a new promotion done every day for new and existing customers. Though this will range from payout boosts to discounted projections. Like for instance, this week, I am going to guess Anthony Davis for more than 2 blocks and Damian Lillard for more than 4 3-pointers made.
And do you know about this combo projections from their specials league?
What's that?
A league created specifically, for combo projections, which can include 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. And the example they gave is LeBron James plus Travis Kelce at 10.5 combo of 3-point shots made and receptions.
Nice.
So it gets pretty interesting.
It just keeps you interested in watching games. It's more exciting when you've got when you've got some excitement. So they offer Apple Pay for quick and easy deposit into your account this football season. Go to prizepicks.com. Sorry, everybody. Go to prizepicks.com/papers. Use code PAPERS for a first deposit match of up to $100. Again, go to prizepicks.com/papers. Use code PAPERS for a first deposit match up to $100.
Pick more. Pick less.
It's that easy.
That
All right. Let's get to entertainment.
Here we go. Paper. Holy moly.
You're obviously reading this one.
You put this in, though. I love Bernie Taupin, the lyricist behind some of Elton John's biggest songs, of course, has set a release date for his upcoming memoir, Scattershot, Life, Music, Elton, and Me. Really, it should be Life, Music, Elton, and Elton. You're going to get me to read it. If you're going to get me to read it, the memoir is said to detail Taupin and John's lifelong creative partnership, where he abused Elton John for 20 or 30 years. A statement describes the memoir as an exciting, multi-decade whirlwind. Only if it's set to Elton John's music. I'm going to listen to it on tape, and if Elton's music isn't there, just like all of his lyrics, you cannot do it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So anyway,
it must have been hard to type with his hands grasped so tightly on Elton's coattails. Like, did he use his cock?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was tough for you. He did so much promotion for this, and I just know every time you clicked on your feed and saw him doing another talk show or NPR, it must have driven you crazy.
Well, he did think the band was the biggest thing to ever happen to him in music. So I liked him for saying that. And
Okay.
he talks a lot about them. Yep. But boy, you'd think he would have been a little more influenced by their lyrics.
Yeah. Daniel Radcliffe.
But then again, no.
Daniel Radcliffe is exec producing a doc about his former stunt double who was left paralyzed following an accident on the Harry Potter set. It's a coming of age story of a prodigious teenage. It's called David Holmes, the Boy Who Lived. Coming of age story of a prodigious teenage gymnast who formed an inextricable bond with Harry Potter star Radcliffe. He was working on Deathly Hallows Part 1 when an explosion that was part of a planned stunt sent him plummeting to the ground, leaving him paralyzed from the chest down, featuring candid personal footage shot over the last decade, behind-the-scenes material from his stunt work, scenes from his current life, and interviews with him, Radcliffe, friends, family, and former crew. Look, all this guy wants to do is forget the world-shattering tragedy that put him in a wheelchair, and Radcliffe is just dredging it up and promoting it, and he's got to sit through all this.
Worse than that, Radcliffe is making this poor guy do all the dangerous reenactments. He's forcing him to. He said it would be inauthentic if he didn't.
Just throwing him under some stairs.
Remember, this is when you got paralyzed. So this is the money shot. Focus.
He's also, this just seems a little self-serving. It seems like he's trying to assuage his guilt. He's also planning a documentary about an Asian masseuse who catches mouth herpes after blowing a world-famous child actor. So,
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, what is this thing? What? Just give him money.
Give him money, and also, I heard he did put him up. He's putting him up in his mansion, but obviously the guy can't get up the stairs, so he put him under the stairs. All right, this is your story.
Kid Rock enjoys a Bud Light. Kid Rock appears to have made his peace with Bud Light just months after using an assault rifle to destroy multiple cases of beer in response to the Dylan Mulvaney social media posts. This is in the news, I think, today, that he officially has ended his boycott, but
Really?
we had caught him. We had caught him in this story because he was spotted by the gossip news site TMZ sipping from a can of the beleaguered Anheuser-Busch brand at a Colt Ford concert in Nashville this week that we did the story.
Wow.
So he was busted.
The only time I would spray a Bud Light with bullets is while Kid Rock is drinking it.
Well, I was thinking maybe he was just drinking one of the many cans he couldn't hit with his assault rifle because there was a lot of them, if you remember the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can he not start drinking it? He is Bud Light. Beloved by Americans with low standards, watered down and derivative, way less popular now than it was before.
I was hoping the story was like, Kid Rock is a hypocrite regarding Bud Light because TMZ spotted him in the VIP section blowing a guy in the Bud Light suite. That's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
Then it would be more, understandable, his rage, his overcompensation.
Yeah, that is weird. Anytime guys get like that, it's just like, what are you angry about? This shit, like, a guy dressing up as a woman, to me, I love it. It's entertaining. I want life. I'm bored with life. It's the same. Every guy wears Gap khakis and a concert T-shirt and Chuck Taylor. I'm bored. Show me a dude with lipstick and pantyhose. That's fun.
So this is like the weirdest Goodfellas scene where now the trans person goes to you. So I amuse you, Greg? What am I, a clown? I amuse you? I make you laugh?
I just meant like you look really pretty. I didn't mean anything by it. Next headline is Lady Died. When The Crown concludes its 6th and final season later this year, everybody will see the tragic death of Princess Diana. The producers have claimed that they filled the passing of Diane with enormous sensitivity. They noted that the death scene when she died at the age of 36 in a fiery car crash in Paris will be shown in the early episodes of the season. The show might be big and noisy, but we're not. We're thoughtful people and we're sensitive people. We don't care about the money. They were very careful and had long conversations about how they were going to do it thoughtfully. They described it as tasteful, like Cinderella meets Formula One.
So she'd be, what now, 63?
Well, this happened in 97, and she was 36, 17. So 26 plus 36 is 50. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Charles, meanwhile, is going to watch this with some Jergens lotion and Kleenex.
Yeah, and I just hope no one spoils this ending for Meghan Markle, who clearly has no idea about her husband's family.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how Harry's mom died. Just like she didn't know the royal family was impossibly cruel to Diana or that the British monarchy might be a tad racist.
Just since the first century. I mean, maybe she hasn't caught up on recent news.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What a year. Look at this. Jada Pinkett Smith is the next one. Wow.
Yeah, do it.
Says she was separated from her husband, Will Smith, for 6 years before he infamously slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars last year. Pinkett Smith said she and her husband are still figuring it out, but in a separate NBC interview, the 52-year-old said that the pair are still not together. So this was also in the news this week, by the way, because she has some nickname like the slap that saved our marriage, or there's some positive take on this slap, which is crazy.
Yeah, she said we were exhausted trying. I think we were both stuck in our fantasy, and they had problems with the marriage. In an episode of her Red Table Talk show, they publicly discussed how Pinkett Smith had entered into another relationship, or, quote, entanglement, as she described it, with singer August Alsina. Yeah, she got entangled with his cock.
Yeah, what is the entanglement? Doublespeak.
Yeah. Now that they're broken up, she said she'll continue fucking other guys.
Yeah. And speaking of doublespeak, I mean, really, it sounds from this article like Will should have yelled, "Keep my estranged wife's name out your fucking mouth."
If I were him, I would try to make alimony based on future earnings.
Yeah. Get off nice and light with that one.
I hate to shit on Will Smith, though. I love that guy. I really do. I feel bad about how this thing all went down. I mean, Jesus Christ, it just ended in 10 seconds. A really illustrious career, talented dude, great role model, and just gone.
Is no one whispering in his ear, listen, you have to get out of this marriage.
Right.
That will help him so much.
Are they Scientologists?
I don't know.
Because Scientology would know how to handle this. They would straighten this shit out.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Anyone who made fun of them, they'd kill their dogs.
Right.
Straighten this up quick, fast, and in a hurry. Flavor vision ain't blurry.
It's time to go to Florida for the last time this year.
Okay, this was Florida man busted trying to run across Atlantic Ocean in a giant hamster wheel. Wait for it, amid hurricane. Reza Baluchi, 44, was spotted late last month about 70 miles off the coast of Tybee Island, Georgia. Probably pronounced that wrong, as Hurricane Franklin caused life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Photos showed him in the middle of the quirky homemade contraption, or hydropod as he calls it, consisting of a metal drum with inflatable buoys on each side, as well as paddles powered by him running inside the ball. Bellucci reportedly told his rescuers he planned to run for more than 4,000 miles to cross the ocean to London. Well, I hope he kept his cool when they told him he had to disembark. So let's see here. Then he repeatedly threatened to kill himself rather than end his wheelie risky run. He claimed to have a 12-inch knife and even a bomb, sparking a 3-day standoff before he finally disembarked Friday in Miami Beach, Florida. Ooh, he made it really far.
Yeah, he backtracked.
And he had been stopped before from making this stunt in 2014, 2016, and 2021. I'll never give up my dream. They stopped me 4 or 5 times, but I never give up, he said. Shouldn't this be the ravings and means of transportation? Shouldn't this be the ravings and means? I don't even know what that means.
I just know apparently they calmed him down eventually. They fed him some gerbil pellets and gave him some wood chips to shit in. And he asked if someone could put him in their shirt pocket and rub his back.
I'm so thirsty. Can you put a little ball bearing thing in the corner of my ball so I can drink it?
Right. They tried to catch him and he ran under a table, which is weird because he was in the ocean. But it's still a joke that might work.
How did you not put that he ran right up Richard Gere's ass?
That's how they should have gotten him out of the wheel. They should have made a big flotation device that looked like Richard Gere's asshole.
Well, that's what he was doing when he was envisioning this thing. Like, how am I going to make this? He's like, just London was Richard Gere's anus, and he was just running towards it.
By the way, why stop him? I mean, let the guy run on a fucking... I mean, isn't that just a water toy? Aren't you allowed to go out on a water toy in the ocean?
Yeah, can't he sign releases like, don't waste the taxpayers' money?
Yeah.
You don't have to rescue me.
Well,
I'm gonna get bashed into smithereens by these orcas off of Portugal anyway, who are gonna play ball with me.
Right. I guess he was thinking outside of the box and inside of the wheel.
Is that what he did?
Yep.
And then we have a Florida man arrested for dunking a woman's head into a vat of tar during an argument. I will say you chose these stories, which is anyway. A woman suffered chemical burns after a Florida man dunked her head in a vat of tar-like substance and choked her at gunpoint. Marshall Dimmick, 55 of Rosewood, was arrested this week after an unidentified woman.
Well, tough to identify her now.
Told police she was tortured after she had a, quote, argument with a felon on Thursday. Dimmick claimed the man dunked her head into a vat of tar-like substance that he used to treat clam and oyster bags. He also pointed a shotgun at her and choked her to near unconsciousness. Now, adding insult to injury, the woman was immediately canceled for wearing blackface.
Blackhead, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, things got worse, too, because when she went to bed that night, her pillow leaked and she got feathers stuck all over her head.
Yeah.
Let's go to Australia because they're trying to make Australia Florida.
Here we go. All right, I grabbed this story. I remember this one. I liking it a lot. Court orders Australian man to compensate police after his fake kidnapping, where he could meet up with his mistress. Paul, 35, left his home just before 11:45 p.m. on New Year's Eve, telling his unnamed partner he was going out to meet his financial guy. Yeah. A little while later, he messaged his girlfriend from his own phone, pretending to be a group of Middle Eastern kidnappers. Posing as the fictional abductors, he reportedly told his girlfriend that he would be held captive just until morning, prompting her to call the district police. He contacted his father the next day, telling him he was being dropped off by kidnappers back at his car. I don't know why you have to tell your dad that. Upon hearing the news, the cops carried out what they called a high-risk vehicle stop on his van, believing he was being held hostage inside. But they only found him inside. He continued to play along with the false report, leading authorities on a wild goose chase for over 200 hours. He was busted after security footage showed him with a prostitute on the night in question.
Yes! That is a New Year's Eve to remember. Wow.
And they have the footage timestamped, and it showed him initially with the mistress after initially contacting his father about the kidnapping. I mean, what a way. I mean, he really wanted to get out of the house.
Yeah. Well, he wanted to kiss somebody at midnight, and it happened to be a prostitute. So,
oh my God.
But I love that he kidnapped himself. It reminds me of Richard Pryor in Blazing Saddles, where he puts a gun to his own head, and he's like, anybody moves and I'm going to shoot this. I'm going to say what?
Yeah.
And the old lady goes, I think he's serious.
Well, that was supposed to be Richard Pryor. He wrote it.
Oh, what am I saying, Richard Pryor? Yeah, I meant the other guy. Yeah, it was supposed to be Richard Pryor.
Imagine if Richard Pryor was in that. That's unbelievable.
That guy was phenomenal, though. What was his name? Denman, what was his name? Oh, Denman's not on today.
I forgot. Let's put Sheriff of Blazing Saddles. Here we go, everybody. Bear with us. It's worth it. He was great. And do you have the next story?
Yep. Well, we're going on to sports, so we need a crinkle.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cleavon Little.
Oh, right. Cleavon Little. Did he get nominated for that? They never nominate you for comedy. Every actor in the world talks about how difficult comedy is. Every writer, it's so difficult. And then the Oscars come, and it's all these fucking dramas. It's all people acting like they have special needs or they're in a Nazi concentration camp. That's why Robin Williams eventually did that Nazi movie. Oh, no, that was a Vietnam movie. Wrong war.
Pryor was Brooks' original choice to play Sheriff Bart, but the studio, claiming his history of drug arrest made him uninsurable, refused to approve financing with Pryor as the star.
I think Pryor also helped write it.
He did. He remained a screenwriter instead.
Yeah.
Paper. Here we go. Sports. For the first time in 146 years, Wimbledon has changed its women's dress code. But this being Wimbledon, the change is glacial rather than radical. Players are now allowed to wear dark-colored undershorts. The move has been made to alleviate the worries of competitors who are on their period. In a statement, All England club Sally Bolton says she hopes the new rule will, quote, help players focus purely on their performance by relieving a potential source of anxiety. It has been welcomed by many players. As U.S. pro Coco Gauff told Sky News last week, I think it's going to relieve a lot of stress for me and the other girls in the locker room for sure. And this will be welcome news for the Chinese players once they start getting their periods. Oh, boy.
I also think there's going to be a change in service rules because I've dated a lot of women on their period and it's never their fault. That's a good fucking joke right there.
Here's another rule I'd like in place, which is all women at all times have to wear black panties. Because I don't want to now think, oh, she's wearing black.
Yeah,
that means she's bleeding right now.
Well, black or red? Shouldn't it be like a maroon, like the color of my sweatshirt?
Yeah. I mean, but you might think that they haven't gotten the rule change that to go from whites, and maybe that's just what naturally happened.
And then they should also all have a little string hanging out of the elastic on the side of the panties.
All right. We should stop before we get gross.
Stop before we get gross. You want to talk about your boy, your Jets?
No, you just
your
said
Jets quarterback, the guy that was going to turn around the season for us.
We're in many sports stories, and I'm like, oh, I think he can remember Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
What a ridiculous season, the whole thing. Oh my, it's so embarrassing.
Well, you Jets fans. I mean, first of all, the Jets were the hard knock team on HBO this year. Yep. So we saw the whole preseason. We saw 12 episodes leading up to Aaron Rodgers. Likeable. Yeah. How about they didn't bring up the anti-vax or the election denying once during the whole
but I'm talking about the Jets
series.
Were likable because they're so miserable and they're a joke. I mean, they are a joke, and especially now. But, shame on us. We got hope. You can't have hope if you're a Jets fan.
Nope. Just ask Leroy Lockhorn.
Right. All right, what are we doing now, fella?
Let's do some international.
All right.
All right, this one's gross, just like the tennis one. But we're going to do it anyway. A twin due to be medically terminated to save his brother's to save his brother's life made a surprise arrival in the toilet bowl. This is in England. Mum Corrine Rose, 30, suddenly went into labor and welcomed twin boys while on the loo at 32 weeks along. The amniotic sac for one of the twins, Neo, burst too soon, and doctors broke the news that he wouldn't make it. To give his twin Grayson a fighting chance, Corinne made the tough decision to undergo a medical termination for one of the boys. But the day before the procedure, Corinne found herself delivering both babies alone in the bathroom, scooping them out of the toilet. The pair went to the neonatal ward. One weighed 4 pounds, 6 ounces. He was discharged after 3 weeks. The Neo one was weighed 2 pounds, 14 ounces, has defied all odds. Despite doctors' fears he wouldn't pull through, he's finally joined his brother at home after being discharged. I mean, what? She must have used the entire roll of toilet paper on that one.
This is literally dropping the kids off at the pool.
Yeah,
like,
and
you say it as a joke, and then it comes true.
There is going to be no stopping these kids in swim class. They're going to be like, man, those twins, it's like they were born to do this.
Survivors, man. Jeez.
Except every time they see a brown beach ball, they're going to have like flashbacks.
They say that, it's the biggest fall from grace. You're in the womb, everything's taken care of, and then it's like you're squirted out into this glaring light, held upside down, slapped. This is maybe the most glaring wake-up call ever.
Yeah.
Right into the toilet.
You don't feel wanted. You want to read this one?
Terror group. I remember just liking this headline. This was from January 8th last year. Well, this 2023. And it was terror group ISIS plots 2023 comeback. That was a real headline.
Yeah.
And,
ISIS and Aaron Rodgers working out together.
Yeah. Big resolution for the Jets and ISIS.
Yeah.
But they don't have much more time.
Nope, they haven't really come back this year, have they?
I mean, I don't know all the complexities of the Middle East and what's going on there now, but I don't read a lot about ISIS.
Let's see, bomb more. Do those jungle gym things more. Take less shit from Shaheen. Who the fuck does he think he is? Get 3 more wives. All of that means I have to plan 3 honeymoons, 3 bachelor parties.
Is this the Chinese woman next to you on the plane?
Yep, that's her. You thought she was gone, but she's still in the episode.
So she can do impressions.
Yes, she can.
That's maybe you were doing an impression of her doing a bad impression of a Chinese person.
It's layered. My comedy is layered.
Yeah.
All right, this is a for Jamie. Researchers show bodies of purported non-humans being. Researcher shows bodies of purported non-human beings to Mexican Congress at UFO hearing.
This was big news when it happened because a lot of people who follow these type of stories were like, this is the proof, finally, like through DNA.
So this Mexican journalist, Jamie Maussan, said this is the most important discovery in the history of humankind. But for many scientists, these 2 tiny mummified bodies with elongated heads and 3 fingers on each hand, images of which were beamed around the world this week when they were presented to Mexico's Congress, are an already debunked, perhaps criminal stunt.
I think it's an unbelievable story, though, because we just learned in this story that there are illegal aliens in Mexico. Yeah. I don't know. Meanwhile, there's probably a ton, and I'm just being very insensitive.
3 fingers on each hand. That's That's the gang sign for MS-13. No wonder they got killed. One of them had a bag of coke stuffed up his ass. Even I didn't believe in that joke. I fucking mailed that one in.
All right, what are we doing?
We're doing science.
You blinded me.
Let's see. Should we do that
Extreme
one?
gene therapy for alcoholism slashes drinking by 90% in monkeys. A form of gene therapy that is already being trialed in patients with Parkinson's disease might provide a one-off treatment for severe alcohol addiction. A study in macaque monkeys that were predisposed to heavy drinking found that it dramatically curbed their alcohol consumption. Drinking went down to almost zero, said Professor Kathleen Grant at Oregon Health and Science University's For months on end, these animals would choose to drink water and just avoid drinking alcohol altogether. But back up. The cause of the monkey's alcoholism? Probably the despondency about all the electrodes all over their skull.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Right.
And I don't know how they're not drinking now.
By the way, the monkeys don't have Parkinson's. That's just, they jerk off a lot.
Oh, no.
Maybe the Parkinson's patients were just spilling their martinis. That's why they stopped drinking as much.
These alcoholic monkeys. I love this story.
So Matt Walsh, host of the Daily Wire's The Matt Walsh Show, recently sparked an uproar by expressing support for conversion therapy, particularly gay therapy. Particularly controversial were his remarks concerning being born gay, which he mocked by suggesting the idea implies the existence of homosexual infants. Quote, if people are born gay, like born gay, you're gay from birth, right? That's what that would mean. And then that means then what? Homosexual infants out there? I mean, yes, that's why they got rid of the anal thermometer. Too many of them were clenching their cheeks, pushing back, snapping the thermometer in half.
So, yes, they're born gay. What does he think? It's learned behavior? It was with you. But I'm saying most gays I know are born that way.
Yes. Why do you think so many of them throw up after you force a tit in their mouth?
And then I pointed out most babies are gay. We did this story very recently.
I think so.
Because I got some letters about calling most babies gay.
Oh.
But I did say a very high percentage of them grow out of it.
Yes. With this therapy.
Like 93% or something. 90? What is there's no telling what it is these days. But what was it? What do we think the best guess is? How many of us are gay?
What percentage?
Humans?
I think it's about 5%.
You don't think it's 1 in 10?
I'm going to say it's
men
6
and
or
women.
7%. I'm going to look it up right now. What percentage of Americans...
You click on a joke website and it just says you are
gay. 7.2%.
I nailed that. I think I said
Wow.
93%.
7%. I think we probably have a higher percentage living in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's like 104%.
And it's not that gay people are drawn to Los Angeles. It's the clothes you have to wear when you live there will turn you gay. Tight jeans.
This is where Walsh is right. Yeah, I think LA does make some people gay.
Yeah. Speaking of gay, sex therapist Dr. Ruth Westheimer was appointed New York State's first loneliness ambassador. She wants to help New Yorkers with social isolation, with physical and mental health issues such as cardiovascular disease, depression. So Westheimer, a psychosexual therapist and author of 37 books, rose to prominence on TV and radio in the 80s and 90s. She left Germany, her home country, at age 10, having lost her family to the Holocaust. The 95-year-old Bronx resident suggested the idea of becoming an ambassador to provide advice on loneliness and isolation. Yeah, she just sits with people who complain and says, were your parents exterminated in the Holocaust? No? Okay. On your way.
She was
Things
born in
aren't
the
so bad.
20s. Born in the 20s. I think if a woman from the 20s is put in charge of comforting me about my isolation, I'm going to feel worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's, you had to go back this far to a Holocaust kid to get someone who can relate to what I'm going through. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah.
I'm done.
By the way, I don't know if anyone needs advice from a woman who sold 37 books and still lives in the Bronx. Yeah. You will meet me at my office. Just get off the Yankee Stadium stop on the 4-train duck and sprint for 237 Broadway. That wasn't bad.
No, this Chinese woman
She channels Nazis.
keeps appear. She's really taught you well.
All right. This is the sad part.
Let's not cheer up. Here we go, obituaries.
And that's all, folks.
Now, I don't know if this is a complete list. You know, you told me to grab names, and I couldn't find like a text list yet without descriptions or photos. But every time I thought I had a good enough group, like it was a sizable number, I'd then see another list with huge names on it.
A lot of people died this year that we cared about. Matthew Perry died, and we're going to talk about the circumstances on... Oh, no, we did last week because, last week we talked about Matthew Perry. It turns out he died of a ketamine overdose in his hot tub.
Yeah, I have to learn about that. Well,
Dude,
I guess I did last week.
Is there a better way to die than nodding off in a nice, buzzy ketamine high while surrounded by warm, bubbly water? I mean, could be worse.
Yes, it could be. I guess I'll agree with that. But we got Tina Turner, Ryan O'Neal recently, Tom Sizemore. We got Henry Kissinger. We got Lisa Marie Presley, Jim Brand, Raquel Welch, Andre Brower,
Who's
Norman
that?
Lear recently. Huh?
Who's Andre Brower?
Oh, he's the really sort of authoritarian black guy. Most known, I'm forgetting what he was in a TV series, but you know him. Great actor and a ton of stuff.
All right.
You going to look him up while I continue reading names?
Nah, I don't care.
Oh, God. Norman Lear recently. Bob Barker. Shane McGowan recently. David Crosby. Jimmy Buffett. Tony Bennett. Sinead O'Connor. Robbie Robertson.
Damn.
Alan Arkin. Burt Bacharach. Harry Belafonte.
Oh,
Jeff
my
Beck.
God.
We got, don't forget Pee Wee Herman. Did
How
I
about
read?
Tony
did I say
Bennett? Did you say Tony Bennett already?
Tony Bennett. Richard Roundtree. The Iron Sheik.
Oh, yeah.
And Belzer. Belzer's
And also
there too.
Kenny DeForest, who is a guy that I knew. He was a comedian who we had on Crashing. He was on a really good episode of Crashing.
I saw that.
Yeah.
He died like on a city bike?
Ironically, Crashing. Yeah,
Oh, no, don't do that.
I know.
Oh, no, the poor guy.
I know. It's very sad. He was very funny. He was on Seth Meyers. He was on James Corden, and he was a comic that he was a very interesting alty comic. He was a comics comic, but he was starting to break out, and other people knew about him. And
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
it's very tragic.
Aye, poor guy.
Aye,
Poor family. Jeez.
I know.
What a way to go.
Yeah.
37, man. All right, are we doing funnies?
Let's cheer up.
And don't forget, some people on my list could still kick it in the next couple of days.
That's right. Well, listen, I in a perfect world, we went back and looked at all the comics from the year and picked the best ones. In an imperfect world, we grabbed a couple right before we started taping.
And you're listening to An Imperfect World.
Hagar the Horrible, one of his, it looks like this guy is like a pawn in the royal world, and he's sitting out to dinner with a woman. It's actually Hagar's daughter. And he goes, I think I'll have the grilled salmon. And he goes, what looks good to you? And she's staring at the ass of the waiter as he walks by. It's like, if you're a woman in medieval times, you ain't looking for it. You're running from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any. I mean,
that's all I'm going to say.
Is this a French restaurant? Look at him.
Yeah, he looks a little poofy. Yeah, sometimes Hagar puts people in clothing that's from centuries later.
So she's very predatory too. I guess that's what we're learning, man. Yeah, it's everywhere.
Everybody. All right, then the Lockhorns are sitting in in front of a marriage counselor, and she says, I wouldn't say Leroy has changed since we got married, more like mutated.
Short, good.
He's not happy about it. Not happy about it.
I had to look twice at that guy's face, the therapist's face, or like, it looks like he had 3 eyes for a second.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay, I put a legendary Far Side in here, and it's a great one, which could be a commentary on today's changing climate. Anyway, these 2 cavemen come out of their cave, and there is a giant wall of ice in front of them. And one says to the other, say thag, wall of ice closer today. They're looking at their fate,
and
just like we are.
It's like 9 inches in front of them. It's about to close off the opening to the cave.
It's like 40 feet high. It's a glacier that's encroaching on them.
And that's the end. And that is the end. I looked for Blondie today. It was not inspired by any of them. I can't do one about fucking Dagwood. And I swear to God, this guy's obsessed. He's missing the point of his own comic strip. And he keeps putting Dagwood in there. I won't grace him by saying his name out loud.
Especially because you don't know it.
I don't know it.
Right.
So listen, I want you guys, again, go to Instagram. Follow me, Greg Fitzsimmons. Put me over 100,000 for the year 2024. That would be amazing. Also, we want you to support the fine people over at Game Time. If you go to the Game Time app, then you can put in the code PAPERS and get $20 off. You're also going to go to the fine people at Omaha Steaks. You're already getting 50% off site-wide. You're going to get another $30 off your order when you use, what is it? PAPERS. Finally, our other sponsor, who we love so much, is a chance for you to just deepen your love for sports. Go to prizepicks.com/papers.
Yep.
And for a first deposit match up to $100. Mike, tomorrow's Christmas. I wish you a happy holiday. Where will you be celebrating?
I like this pretend Christmas wishes. I'm going to be right here in Los Angeles.
As will I. Maybe we'll meet up for some eggnog.
I like that. Can you cook eggnog? Is there enough egg in the nog? Probably not. A souffle?
That's true. I've never thought about that. What if you put eggnog in the microwave to heat it up, left it in too long? Would you have an omelet?
I want you to try it, and then I want Aaron to call me and tell me how it went.
It reminds me of Dave Attell's joke. He's like, eggnog, because I like to get drunk, but I also like pancakes.
Or as I call it, elf cum.
All right. Thanks to Midcoast Media. You guys did a great job. Next week, we will be doing our predictions for 2024. The next episode comes out on New Year's Eve, so we hope you'll tune in for that. As always, at the end of the year, we want to just thank you guys for the support that we get.
Yeah.
Not just the artwork and the songs, but just the people writing in and telling your friends about us. Yeah. Oh, right. Not too late to buy a koozie for the new year.
I've got to order more. The demand has not stopped.
Unbelievable. We sold out twice.
Yep.
We're on a third printing now. People love them, and I may bring some on the road. So, look for that.
And you floated not splitting the proceeds with me, which was very interesting. I've mailed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these things.
I mailed as many as you did.
No. Okay. Let's just quit while we're ahead.
I came over for 10 minutes.
You signed them and left. But also, we'll talk about this in the other podcast too, but it was like working with my stepbrother, Jeff, where I'm like, well, you know what? I'll just do it. I asked you to take self-adhesive stamps, just put them on. Comes back, it's like halfway down the envelope. It's not even near the corner. It's like you were trying to get fired.
All right, well, that'll do it. Happy holidays, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Happy holidays, everyone. Enjoy it. Hugs all around. Go hug your family.
And what else should they do?
I think they should, is there any wordplay on Take It Ish? Christmas Ish? How was Christmas Ish?
Yeah, have a good Christmas Ish.
There it is.
All right.
Extra, extra, read all about it on the Sunday paper show. They'll tell you everything you ever wanted or needed to know. We can watch the world burn together, pretend it ain't so. Extra, extra on the Sunday paper show.